LOL. Who's working? I'm not working. No, I'm not. I'm not working. Do you consider this working? Is that why? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah, my first day was yesterday. I started that part-time job. Yeah, I started a part-time job. Yeah. Yeah, I started part-time. Can you hear me through the mic? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. This is a part-time job. Oh, I think I started. Yeah, I started yesterday. What was yesterday? Monday? Yeah, I started yesterday. It wasn't anything crazy. I literally just... Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yesterday was orientation. So I was there all day. I was there with like one other person. And we were both like going to be store managers. I think it's a little disorganized of a company though, to be honest with you. I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. I was supposed to come back today, technically, but because they didn't know who I was supposed to work for. Like the entire time I was there, the head manager was like, I don't know who you're supposed to go to. So I just ended up just coming back tomorrow because we're supposed to still have orientation tomorrow. We're supposed to have it like for one day, but the other girl, she never finished her orientation, which is a bunch of training online that no one likes doing. But I was done with my training. I finished that bitch. I finished all of it. But somehow she didn't finish hers, so we gotta come back tomorrow. Tomorrow being Wednesday. I don't have to come back, but I don't know when I'm supposed to come back. And the head manager who told me all this, she has ADD, so she keeps forgetting to tell me things. And I just didn't know that she was gonna like consistently forget to tell me it, so I did not end up I'd be like, hey, did you figure out? Because she was legit not knowing where I was supposed to go the entire time. She's like, oh, I don't know where you're going. I'll ask, but I don't think they even know either. And I was like, okay. So I ended up just being there from like 9 o'clock to almost 5. We could have left earlier, but it was really dependent if we finished our training. I did, which is why I left at almost 5. The other girl left at like 3 because she knew she wasn't going to finish it that day. So we ended up doing that. But we're going back tomorrow at 5, not 5, 9. But yeah. But she has a person who she's going to report to. They just weren't here on Monday. And I don't know who I'm reporting to. So I'm probably reporting to some random person in the store to train to be a manager. But other than that, I don't know. But, you know. But yeah, it was a little dysfunctional because we get there and we're both waiting in the lunchroom, or their version of like a lunchroom, or I guess it's a locker room because it's like a lunchroom and a locker room. We're just waiting there, and she's been waiting there since like 8 o'clock, and I've been waiting in that room since like 9. And it gets like 9:30, and literally the woman comes out and she's like, oh my god, I did not know you guys were here, because no one told her we were coming to orientation at all. Like, crazy. No one told her we were coming to orientation the entire time. And so she literally just ends up being like, oh, sorry about that. And then she has to print out all of our paperwork during the time that we're there. And I was like, bruh. And that took like so long, because like nothing in the building works that well. So it's like very slow printing. And then we gotta use a computer to do the actual payroll and also our training. But it's only one computer and like 2 dead tablets. So she's charging the tablets and I'm using the computer, which is hilarious. It was just a mess. But, you know, the woman was very honest. She was like, yeah, these things are slow. They don't really tell us things around here. And I was like, okay. I was like, perfect. No alliance to this company. So that's great. But yeah, that's basically what happened all day. I have no idea what we're doing on Monday or Wednesday. We've been told like the uniform, which is barely a uniform. Basically just wear whatever, like make sure your pants don't got rips. They can be jeans if they want to be. They can also be blue or black. Wear a black shirt, I guess. Just like real basic stuff. So it was not bad at all. But yeah, that was really all that happened that day. That's all that happened. But it took like all day to do it, which is crazy. The training online took like at least 3 hours. Just because 2 of them were like an hour each. And then she told us that we're going to repeat one of them. That's an hour, because it literally is going to be renewed for this year. And I'm like, bro, really? Like, you can't even skip these videos. And you're telling me we got to do this again? So that was crazy. I was like, I don't even know how to have people do it. There's like 20 million people working here. And they're going to be like one computer. So that's interesting. But yeah, the other woman that I'm going to like basically be working with, I guess, she has a whole nother full-time job, so she needs this job to be kind of like the night shift. She needs it to be a night shift job. That's what she said. And I was like, okay, I don't know if we can change it to be night shift, but technically you're allowed to, like, the roles do switch up. Like, you can switch up like your hours. The thing is, we don't really know if we change the hours, if like someone above us switch the hours, or what. So we literally have no idea. But she has a whole other job and she's a babysitter, so she needs to know ahead of time if her schedule changes, which we were told they would change week by week depending on like availability by other people. But it did seem as if they didn't know who was doing that. So we will find all that out tomorrow, because, you know, hopefully someone else is also there with that woman who's the manager, because she didn't really know that much about people ahead of her, because she had to oversee everything in the store, so she wasn't paying attention. She really wasn't paying attention to what we were doing, because she was like talking to like everyone else, because apparently she's the only one who does the job that she specifically does, and she manages like over 200 something employees by herself. And I'm like, girl, what? And you have ADD? That's not smart. That's not smart. We should probably get you some help, because you have ADD as well, which is kind of crazy. Like, she kept saying she has ADD, and I honestly believe her, because like that girl, she was running, bro. She was running around. She literally go back to us and be like, oh, I forgot to get this, and they have to go and print a paperwork that she told she was going to print like 3 times already. And I was like, girl, you're either super overworked or you really have ADD. Either way, they need like 2 people. I think she would agree. It was crazy. But yeah, that was insane. And then we gotta do that all again tomorrow. Hopefully we can leave earlier tomorrow, because I feel like we won't really know what we're doing at all. I mean, we probably are, but it's a Wednesday, so we'll see. I mean, I have nothing better to do tomorrow, so I don't know why I wouldn't show up. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's a job. It's a job I have, but it's not the job I want. It's just a placeholder job. So yeah, that is the vibe. It's a job for now. But yeah, I'm watching Priscilla right now. Watching the video. Oh my god, Priscilla is kind of a boring ass film. I'm not gonna lie to you. Priscilla is boring as shit. You can. I mean, obviously you can. I don't care what you do, but Brazil's a boring film. It's a serious film, but it's so boring. It was so boring. It was crazy because it came right after Elvis too. So it's like you would assume they would give her like, obviously it's a more realistic take on her story, but it was just like, goodness gracious. You wondering when the story was going to pick up, and then the ending happened, and I was like, finally, we can finally tell her story, and it ended, and I was like, bro, what the heck is this? It was so bad. I think it was only like 2 hours, but yeah, after Elvis, yeah, they were milking Elvis for like a good 2 years, and after that, they decided we made enough of this film. We made enough. But I think Elvis was a good film. They were lying about some things, but that's okay. It was very flashy, so it got my approval for like 2 seconds. I don't even know who played Priscilla in the movie. I wonder if they made her canonically 15 as well, or they just saved that for the actual story. That's so funny. Oh, did you watch the new trailer for Doomsday? Who was in it? I forgot. Oh, X-Men, right? Oh my gosh, they're bringing this man back. This feels like the third time he's being brought back to the MCU, and I feel like we're gonna butcher. I mean, we're probably not gonna butcher it this time, but man, I do not feel excited at all. I'm like, oh, he's back again. They already killed like so many versions of this man since they took over X-Men. Yeah. Nah, shit. I'm so confused about this movie. I'm not even gonna lie. What is this movie even about? I've never met this many people really be like, Doctor Doom is a Avenger level threat before. Like I don't even read comic books like that, but that shit, I don't think he's that big of a villain. They're gonna make him bigger than Thanos because they have to, because all the other movies in the last 5 years. Yeah, Cyclops. I wonder if it's the original actor, or did they change the actor? Apparently, the actor who played Cyclops was in the Sonic film. He was the guy. I'm like, oh, I did not know that's the same bitch. All I remember him as being terrible as Cyclops, so maybe they should change up the actor just in case. But no, yeah, Cyclops. I don't know, that was a good scene. They finally used his, well, I guess they always use his powers correctly, but hopefully they use the actual clothes they wear, the bright ass clothes that they complain about. You see, oh, okay. Damn, he's getting booked. He literally just did Sonic last year too. That's good. He might have like 2 scenes, I'm not gonna lie. So far he's in it. Who else is the X-Man? He's in it. Professor X, and then also Gambit. Confirmed-ish to be in the movie. And maybe Beast, because he was in that Miss or Captain Marvel film that sucked. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this movie. I feel like we're not being told. I feel like this should have all happened when they had Thanos. Like, it doesn't make sense for them to be like, oh, we're gonna bring in the X-Men because now. And I'm like, was Thanos not a big enough threat when he was killing everyone? It's because they actually announced everyone in like previous films that they felt okay with having them literally stay and be like, we're gonna bring everybody in. My comments come in like 1 to 2. I know. I don't know how to fix that. It's not even on slow. It's not even on. Alright, I did live chat. Maybe that will work faster. Yeah. Alright, type something again. See how quickly this comes. They could do timestamps as well. Do. But yeah, I don't know. What I was saying was, I think this movie's gonna be kind of ass. I'm not gonna hold you. This probably a 3-part Avengers film, just to go over the Thanos film, which took 2 movies to finish. I honestly believe it's gonna be like 2-3 whole films because they have no storyline to back up this current movie, and it's coming out next year. And the only movie that actually comes out before it is the Spider-Man movie comes out like right before. I don't even know who the villain is because all they've done is give us a teaser. I think they finished filming, so it's kind of weird they still giving us a teaser. Oh, I think the Wonder Man TV show. I will share this on my Instagram story. Okay, go ahead. That's fine. The Wonder Man has a TV show coming out on the 27th. That's supposed to be also Marvel. I haven't seen a trailer, like, at all. I don't know what the heck that show's about. I need to watch it. The trailer and the show. I don't even think he's gonna be in the movie. You know what I'm saying? This is so, oh my god. We're giving too much credit to Marvel. I'm gonna watch it though. Not in theaters. I'm gonna wait a bit. Get people's reactions. I wanna get the non-fans reactions. Because the fans have been hyped up this film, like they've known about it for years. When it's been decided since like a year or two ago. So I don't really know why they hyped up this show or movie, whatever. They hype up anything. They honestly will look at something and be like, this is amazing. And I'm like, you don't know shit about this movie. Like, if Fantastic Four had a sequel and it was Doomsday, we would all be like, yeah, normal film reaction. But because it's Adventures and the Russo brothers are back and RDJ is back, I was like, bro, let's not act like this is suddenly a film they knew about 10 years in advance. Honestly, if they wanted to keep a villain, they should have just recasted Kang. They should have just recasted Kang. I know the actor was dumb as hell and he should be obviously fired, but they should have just recasted Kang because he was such a good villain. He was also like known in the story, so it's like dumb as hell to be like, no, we're just gonna change him because the actor did some crime. Okay, then fuck up the villain. Like, fuck up the guy. Don't fuck up the villain. The villain was actually really good. Like, you could have fixed that easily. But no, they were like, no, we're gonna just make it Doom. And I'm like, you guys are dumb as hell. Like, oh my god. Like, the amount of money they're about to spend on this movie, only because RDJ got $100 million for nothing. Like, they definitely looked at this man, said, what will it take for you to come back to the film? And he said $100 million. And they said, done. Like, really? They're so desperate to get $1 billion back in the industry. They're willing to bet that people will watch it. I bet you people will watch it. But if it's ass, yeah, that will follow them for an end of time. There better be a new DC. They never made $1 billion since the first Aquaman film. I don't even think Superman made $1 billion. They have followed me that curse for years to come now because of that. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how many trailers are supposed to come out. Well, it's not even a trailer, it's a teaser. But I'm not sure how many teasers are supposed to come out more about the Avengers. Because you're just seeing like bits and pieces of not everyone, but like 3 or 4 people's stories. Which I'm like, that's fair, I guess. They have like until a year from now to come out with it. But I did see I saw this good ass quote online. I thought this good ass, it wasn't even a think piece. It was like a sentence. But I saw it and I was like, ooh, they cooking with this one. It's not even a theory. It was just like it was basically how like all the males, like all the males who died in Marvel are coming back to life. Like Iron Man, well, not really Iron Man, but RDJ is coming back to life in a different world. But yeah, how Captain America, who is probably dead, but at the very least super duper old, he's coming back to life. But then the women, like Gamora, like Black Widow, like Scarlet Witch, none of them actually are considered to be alive in the series yet. And I was like, ooh, they're cooking. Women are not living, but the men are all coming back alive. That is true. I see that. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? They're kind of right. Because why are all the men coming back to life and the women are still dead? They even kill a few more women, to be honest. Some of them do not fix the storyline. But yeah, that was weird. I will say, they probably shouldn't bring back, like, I don't know why. I mean, I think everyone says this, but I feel like they shouldn't bring back RDJ. It ruins the hype. It definitely ruined the hype when they announced it at Comic-Con. Because I heard about it and I was like, they're going to overshadow everything after this. None of this is actually going to make sense now that they did that. Because I think right after that they did that, Brave New World came out. And that movie, it was okay. It wasn't even crazy. People were overreacting, per usual. I will say, the storyline, they did fuck it up. They did fuck it up. They did not do a good job in that at all. They really fucked that shit up. But they knew what they were doing, and they still decided, let's not make it good. Let's not even try. We have Harrison Ford. We have the Red Hulk, who was actually the biggest part of the film. That was good, because that's the part you care about. But they had Anthony Mackie, who's been there since like almost the beginning, and they still said we're not giving him a big enough role because we don't want to. And I was just like, come on now, can we not tell we're purposely ruining this man's entire storyline? Apparently, according to a leaker, this might be false, he's supposed to lead the next Avengers. This might also be true because it makes sense. But if he doesn't lead the next Avengers, man, what do we call this? What do we call this? Because what do you mean you're not leading the people that you've been built to lead and the last person led? To be fair, I don't think Chris Evans led them either, but he was supposed to. He kind of did at the very end. So that's why I'm just like, bro, they're not giving this man a single time to himself. He was getting his ass roasted in the first movie, in the Brave New World. I don't know how no one looked at the script and thought, you know what, we should make Anthony Mackie more of a leader and not a bitch. I don't know. This man was he was getting talked to down from the guy who was gonna be the Red Hulk. Like, come on now. He looked at that man dead in his face while he was telling him that he would never be as good as Steve Rogers. And I'm like, bro, you just let that slide? No. In his own film, he was being told that. Oh my God. I was so mad. I was like, this man's not gonna fight. He's not worth it. He's not worth it. No, I was so pressed. It wasn't bad. People were so dramatic. They made it seem like it was like the worst film that came out. No, there's worse, obviously. Morbius is still a Marvel film. But people were really pissed off. And I'm like, y'all made it seem like... I mean, I did watch it in 3D and in 2D. 3D was a terrible idea because they didn't fight as much, which is a bummer. That was a bummer. Wasted my money as well. Never doing that again. Also, they should stop releasing movies at holidays. Like, releasing that on Valentine's Day when you have a boring ass storyline like that, yeah, let's not do that again, because that was dumb as hell. At least Spider-Man makes sense for a Christmas film, because they did that last time and it actually worked out, because it was a good story. Like, no one is going to trust these Captain America films now, because they already said this one was terrible and bad. This one did not deserve to come out. It was even dumber because, oh my God, these notifications are gonna blow me. It was even dumber because they didn't even have Bucky in it. I was like, bro, okay. And just like that, my phone's going on Do Not Disturb. Like, what? Okay. Yeah. Bucky was literally supposed to be in that bitch. I believe it. I see the Vision and they didn't want to take it. I swear I see Visions more than Marvel can. And they still look at the writer room and be like, no, we thought it was smarter. And I'm like, how can you possibly think this is a smart idea? You built up something and then you let it fall because you want a different storyline? Like, no. Thunderbolts was a good film. It was really good. I think they didn't make as much money, so sequel is maybe not happening. Maybe it will happen. I don't know. Knowing Marvel, they might fuck it up, but might do really well. People have to literally pander to Marvel to be like, no, we really love this, that the money doesn't show it, because they fucked it up. But that was a really good film. Why was he part of Congress? I don't think the man even likes the government. So he also didn't do shit as a governor or as a congressman. I was so confused why he was a part of it. I was like, man, why did you run? Like, why are you wasting people's time? Like, I'm not sure who voted for this man. They said, oh, he was friends with Steve Rogers. Yeah, he can get in there. Like, he had no reason to be here. It was so dumb. But, yeah, I don't know what he was doing. He also didn't even stay very long. It was like, it was so useless. I'm like, are they that desperate for this man to be in the movie that they were, like, lying about what he was doing for real? They said, nah, this man, he works for Congress. And I was like, cap, he does not work for Congress. Why would we ever want that storyline to occur? That was crazy. But yeah, they should have had his ass in the Avengers film. Because why was he working with like 20 people that were all from the TV show? I'm like, come on now. He worked with, who was that? Torres? He was fun. The other guy was fun too. Guy's name, the old guy, the one that was like the first super soldier. Oh my God, they got his ass in prison the entire movie. I was like, oh hell no, they wasting potential. They could have had multiple people pulling up being super soldiers, but no, they did that shit for Thunderbolts. They did that shit for Thunderbolts. Literally, they had 2 super soldiers. Well, I guess they had 1, because Bucky still wasn't in that stupid ass movie. But basically, if you haven't seen that film, in Brave New World, Isaiah something. He's like the first super soldier, but was put in prison because they're racist. Literally, that's how he got put in the prison in the film, and like back in the day, like during World War II. And then he was released, and then he was given like an apology, a museum, all that good stuff. And then he was put back in prison in this film for shits and giggles, because they literally were like, oh, the villain doesn't like him, so we're putting him in prison because they mind control him to like try to kill the president, the villains, and whatever. And so people were like, oh, this sucks. Why did you put a whole super soldier in prison? That could have been really helpful to Anthony Mackie, or whatever his actor's name is. The fuck, Sam Wilson. So I was like, okay, it wasted potential, because why did you do that? Like, you could have easily just been like, let him out of prison and we'll fight Red Hulk together. Instead, you had to do some talk no jutsu on this man, just taking them to shut the fuck up. But then you watch Thunderbolts, and you have 2 bitches. You have 3 people. 3 whole people have super strength. Obviously, doesn't do much, but like, you have 3 people have super strength. You had obviously Bucky, the fake Captain America, and then the Russian guy from like Black Widow. They all have super serum, and I'm like, so you give them 3. Captain America can't even fight the Hulk with his ability. Like, what do you, man? When I tell you, there's a common denominator in all the people who are super strength and actually got to have it, and the people who didn't have super strength, or the people who have super strength in both films, there's a split difference. Split difference. And I'm like, ironic that they have 3 super soldiers in Thunderbolts all have abilities and fight, but then the one person who has super strength gets to prison. What's the difference between the both movies in terms of yeah, I've been hearing some theories that Marvel might be a bit Hollywood. I mean, they fall into the bad categories of representation a lot. I saw a tweet from Simu Liu, who is the actor of Shang-Chi, I mean. What the fuck is Shanghai? Shang-Chi. Oh my god, yeah, there's so much controversy. Yes. Oh my god, there is so much oh my god. Bro, this is why I say it's like the worst thing. Like, they honestly probably don't even like the fact that they chose Anthony Mackie, or maybe Chris Evans chose him to be like the replacement. And it's like, no one told them to do, like, they easily could have chose Bucky to literally just be Captain America, and people would have been like, well, either or could have worked, because they know for a fact they were both Captain America in the comic book, so it wouldn't have mattered realistically. But now they bring back Chris Evans. I love him. Okay, I'm gonna watch anything he's in, anything. But come on now, we know what they're doing. They're trying to ruin any credibility that Anthony Mackie has just for having to be in this damn film, and he already got like so much hate for even being Captain America. On top of the fact that when Robert Downey Jr. became announced to be back, it was right before his movie was coming out. So any spotlight that he thought he can gain through like interviews and shit, gone immediately gone. And I'm like, see, this happens every single time, bro. Every single time they do this shit, and then people want to be like, oh no, you have to read into it. No, who's reading into what? Who's reading into what? This man has been literally. I mean, there's worse people who haven't had a chance to shine and has literally been in these films for like years, like the guy from Shang-Chi. But like, guess what they all have in common? That the RDJ and Chris Evans don't got, right? It's like all of a sudden, all these people want to come back to life, and the people who literally was supposed to have their time to shine gotta work 10 times as hard now, again, for no reason. Like, and it's crazy because it's a back-to-back occurrence, especially with Captain America. Because when his show was announced, the Winter Soldier and what was it called? Winter Soldier and Falcon TV show that came out years ago. And then they announced him being Captain America at the very end. Great show. And it was mid. Anyway, they announced his show happening, and then the old Twitter handle was supposed to like replace Chris Evans' picture with Anthony Mackie's picture. Okay, they did that because they had to, right? You can't have Chris Evans' picture when his ass is dead. Probably dead. But for some reason, they had the What If TV show for like too many seasons, and then they decided, oh, we're gonna have who's in it? Captain Carter, which is Peggy Carter, who's like Captain America on her world for like literally 2 seasons. It was like not. If you watch the show, it's not that great. I'm not gonna lie to you. The first season was pretty good. This half of the second was okay. The third, bro, she had to stop. I don't know what role she was booking. They might just bring her back to life because they kept bringing this woman back like she was Captain Carter, Captain America for real. And the show was not about that. But the moment she became Captain America in her world, they immediately changed the profile picture of the Twitter handle to her for a cartoon character. Oh my god. People were so pissed because literally Captain Carter already has her own Twitter handle. It's from the TV show of Agent Carter that got canceled after 1 season because no one liked that shit too. But they didn't want to replace that one. They wanted to replace the one they just changed for Anthony Mackie a few months prior. And they were like, nah, let's change this one. I'm like, bro, so you really gonna sit here and tell me that you thought that was a smart idea? That there was no other one that Peggy could have been changed from? You decided this one had to be the one that you changed it from. It was so stupid. I was like, oh hell no, they don't like Anthony Mackie. They don't. Anthony Mackie is so funny too. I like like most of his movies. I can't say like everything. Some of them are kind of ass. But yeah, some of them are good. I think it's just really dependent on what he be doing sometimes. Yeah. Oh. Okay. But yeah, that happened. No, they're definitely gonna butcher this man. He gonna have 2 seconds in his film. He not gonna be. Oh, they about to do some dumb shit in this movie. They about to do some Disney ass storyline. I can already tell. I can already see the vision of what they're doing. I also can't draw books for shit. No, I can already tell what they're gonna do. They're gonna make him team up with Captain America. They're gonna make Anthony Mackie's Captain America team up with like Chris Evans' Captain America, or he's just not gonna fight. And he'll look at Anthony Mackie and be like, no, I passed it on to you for a reason or some bullshit. What am I drawing? It's a sword with books through it, and it has a moon. So, drawing this. Zoom out. Right here. I'm not sure if you can see that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, great, perfect. Enjoying that. Not well, obviously. But yeah. I mean, I'm not even that excited for the film. I only would be excited because I like the Russo twins, or are they twins? No. I like the Russo brothers. They make good Marvel films. Their own films are kind of questionable. They made The Gray Man. I didn't like The Gray Man. They made a bunch of stuff for Tom Holland when he was initially in the MCU. Good for him, but I think they kind of sucked. Well, not all of them, but a good chunk of them sucked. They're very good at Marvel. They're very not great at their own films, which is ironic. But yeah, they know how to keep the hype alive. You know, there's like literally no trailer, no synopsis. We don't even know the full cast, though. Everyone's lying, which means everyone's in it. Everyone who's dead is gonna be in that movie, probably. Which is gonna be so dumb. Oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Shang-Chi. So the actor of Shang-Chi, Simu Liu, he talked about how Asian representation is like really, really lacking in Hollywood. And not just because people just don't want Asians in their films as like their main characters, but mainly because they would have a really good film that popped off and did really well. And there would be like no sequel, no TV show, no spin-off, nothing to signify that the movie was worth its time. Like Crazy Rich Asians, no sequel. There's supposed to be a sequel of that, apparently. Never happened. Everything Everywhere All at Once, no sequel, no spin-off, nothing. Right? Shang-Chi is a good example. That was like one of the few Marvel films in the last 5 years that actually reached $1 billion. They never brought his ass back ever. His ass never been shown. He was only seen in the What If TV show, which is like, no, not What If. He was seen in the Marvel Zombies, which is a cartoon, right? So that doesn't even count. No one saw that shit. So it's like all these, like even Parasite, the movie that won like Best Picture like years ago from a Korean director. I never heard about that man ever again. I could have looked it up personally, but I didn't. But you hear about all these people who like do really well in the film industry and have great films and are all Asian. Never hear about them stories again. You're never gonna see that popping up next to another Timothée Chalamet like docuseries or whatever the fuck he's doing this year, right? It's always some basic ass story in some regards that get nominated, they got money thrown at it, but yet Sydney Sweeney has her 5th movie in 1 year, all bombing. I don't know how she bombed this many times. The only film I heard was good this year that she was in was The Housemaid, and I heard Amanda Seyfried did amazing in that film, which means Sydney sucks and shouldn't be booked and busy at least for the next several years. Because what do you mean you bombed 5 films that you were starring in? Like, how you starring 5 films and you bombing all of them? What did the audition tapes look like? Because what is wrong with her? She's a hot mess anyway, but like, goodness, and Euphoria is coming out. Oh my gosh. Anyway, point is, he was talking about how a lot of Asian storylines are just being pushed to the sideway, and he's right. He's right. That's the same for a lot of people of color. Their stories have to be pushed by someone who's also a person. I mean, personally, it should be pushed by someone who's a person of color. Because suddenly, I don't know, I want someone who's not that race to be doing that film, because they might do a little racist. So. But it was a show that came out like on Netflix because it wasn't that high quality. Ironically, it's from Keke Palmer, who has like that podcast, whatever, called the Keke Network or some shit. And she literally has a TV show called, I remember, Sudden Fried Rice. And it's on Netflix because I guess she can't afford to put it on a TV network. Ironically, she can't afford it. I don't know how that's possible. But she has it on there, and it's by some random woman. I don't know who she is. And it's about this Asian woman who's an orphan, raised in an African-American household her entire life. And she goes to an HBCU. And essentially, she is documenting, like it's a comedy, I think, a comedy drama. But she documents her time in HBCU to see like what is really different about the culture they have and to learn more about herself. Mind you, she's Asian. She's like, you would think like, oh, this is cool, like she embodies this because she's like raised in this culture. No, it's literally about the hardship she has in a HBCU because she is not like African American. And oh my god, I haven't watched it because I just haven't found the time. But it's on Netflix and it's called Sudden Fried Rice. But the thing is, the woman is basically an Aquafina. She like the even though she was like raised in an African American household, she doesn't have like the stereotypical accent until she gets to the HBCU, and then all of a sudden she has the accent. And I was like, oh, I seen clips and everything, and I'm like, no, there's no way you're doing this to me. Like, I was like, this is bullshit. There was backlash on the show. People were really talking about how is Keke Palmer making like stereotypical narratives about HBCU, and also the fact that her network was originally supposed to uplift shows about like African American names and everything, and yet they're still in the backstory of her own show, and it's an Asian woman that takes over. People were wondering why she just put the Asian woman in a PWI and have her deal with hardships there and trying to fit in. Instead, they put her in a HBCU, and it made it seem like it was like as bad as the stereotypes were. And then, you know, Keke Palmer tried to like throw off the backlash. She'd be like, no guys, we work with like these producers who say they're really good. I don't know her other work. I'm like, girl, you never verified this woman's other work who made the show, but you let her make the show? Like, what do you, like, what? I mean, I don't think the woman did anything bad in her other shows, but it was just like, for all you know, this woman is like, she hates her people. I don't know, like, what do you mean you made it about an Asian woman who struggled in the HBCU but yet grew up in an African American household because she's adopted? Like, what? And it was not even like, oh, people overreacting. Like, she really did weirdly assimilate in the worst ways. And I'm just like, bruh. For some reason, they decided this was a good marketable thing to do for her, I guess. It was so bad. I don't even know if the director or whatever even say anything. They probably like, no, guys, it's about like, oh yeah, I remember they said it. They were like, oh, this is based on someone's experience at her college, who she wasn't even friends with, but she like overheard their story and she made an entire show about it. And I'm like, so you stole someone else's whole story just to make a shitty plot that probably didn't even happen. Like, there's no way someone like her struggled, and instead of you helping that girl, you decided I'll make a show about it in like 7 years. Like, bro, what? But yeah, I don't think Keke Palmer about to do that shit again, because that shit was on Netflix getting dislikes, and I'm like, yeah, no. She never put that on a real network, and she knew that I feel like she knew that. I feel like she knew that it was never making it past Netflix, because for her to put it on Netflix for free for a show that she was probably funding with her own money, yeah, she wasn't gonna even think about putting that bitch anywhere but YouTube. It was crazy. But yeah, speaking of Keke Palmer, she's been on like, I wouldn't even say anything downhill. Like, she's not downhill, but she's definitely been on like some weird shit recently. I don't know. Ever since she done that podcast, she was supposed to have like a while ago, and she was figuring out who she's gonna be on there in the summer of last year. She was supposed to have Jonathan Major on there, like right as he was doing his podcast redemption arc. And he was on like everyone's podcast for no reason but to do the redemption arc. You know, he never said sorry. Ironic. But she was trying to have him on her show to talk about his redemption, and people were so pissed off. They were so mad at her because it was like, girl, what are you doing? You literally just came from your own abusive relationship that you had to like do the whole training over there. Like, he is no longer in the picture, all that good stuff. And you're telling me you're gonna have Jonathan Major, who was just found to have a guilty verdict like a month or two prior to him doing the podcast stuff, and you're already talking about he's gonna take accountability. Girl, what? There's nothing accountable about going on a podcast and then saying you're gonna take accountability after you just got a guilty verdict. Like, he didn't even say he was guilty. He didn't even plead guilty. He pleaded innocent and got married. I don't know what that woman was thinking. But anyway, like, I don't know. That woman, here we go. Women's rights and wrongs sometimes are too wrong. But he has a wife now, Megan Good, who got married to him during the entire thing. And I heard she was paying his rent when he was fighting the court case, because I guess the Disney money was not enough. And I was like, so this girl is actively hearing that this man physically hurt his last 2 girlfriends, and she's like, yeah, I'll pay her rent. Yeah, I'm about to hear something about her in the next few years, aren't I? They're gonna be like, so she also was a victim. I'm gonna be like, bro, how did we not see it? What did we miss? Anyway, they got married, so I guess it worked out for both. They got married after he had a guilty verdict. Like, he never said sorry. They even had a leaked audio recording of him verbally abusing one of his girlfriends. And he even admitted that was him. And I was like, bro, like, I don't even, like, at this point, whatever, like, because like Disney isn't working with him. No one is stepping a foot in the ring with a guy they never took a chance on that isn't white. So if we gotta be real honest, if we gotta be honest about why people aren't taking chances on him, let's not say it's because of the crime he did. There's plenty of people who have a criminal past and they're still in the industry to this day. We also are quite on set how many people on that show admitted to having known someone who was, you know, being a weirdo, and they still got to work with kids the entire time. But a criminal case. We all know those people. Yep. But yeah. Oh, what was about Keke Palmer? So after that happened, she didn't release the episode. She had a whole like teaser, so she definitely filmed it, but she didn't release the episode because the backlash was crazy, as it should be. Like, girl, grow a spine. You gotta stop collaborating with known abusers. Like, we get it. You've been through it, but like you would never put your ex on this bitch. So don't put no one else's ex on here. And so she doesn't do it. It gets taken down. To this day, she still hasn't done it, or I would have heard about it. But she recently went on stream on Twitch, on a streaming platform that's not YouTube, and she had a stream with Blueface Baby, who is, I don't know if he's a former rapper, if he even raps at all. I don't know what this man be doing. He would just be yapping. This man has a whole like 5-year-old kid, never sees that damn kid, complains only the most about like everything about his life. How, alright, goodbye. Have fun sleeping. Have fun at work. Anyway. He has like nothing to do. He's like a known abuser. I think he abused. Just want to say Keke Palmer. Yes. Okay, good night. Good night. She has some controversial people. And it's crazy how she gets away with it. I mean, I don't know where. I think it's why. I feel that's why she's not on Spotify. Because she's not even on Spotify for the most part. It's literally like she's on her own network or some bullshit. I don't know what she'd be on. It is not on Spotify. You gotta like pay to hear her. And I'm like, girl. Also, when is she gonna make a sequel of her film? Her film was actually really good. Anyway, she had a stream with Blueface Baby. I don't know if she was promoting anything. I don't know if she had like an album out. I know she does music sometimes when she wants to. I don't think she was promoting anything. Like Blueface just had her on stream and then they talked about it. Like it was like announced prior. And I was just like, okay, I don't get why. Like, wait, why does she know who Blueface Baby is anyway? In my head, I was like, okay, of all the people to stream with, I wouldn't say Blueface Baby is the one I would go for. But also, like, how does she know this man? Like, he's not exactly making music like that right now. So it almost feels like she known about this man prior. Like, why didn't she just go on her podcast and, like, make something about it? So, because she has Usher on her podcast, who is, I don't know if he's going to be, I'm not going to claim nothing. I like his music. I like Usher's music. He's really good. I think his episode on how, like, he dealt with a lot of stuff when he knew, like, P. Diddy was very interesting. And you can tell that something happened, but, you know, it's one of those things where people want to know more than they actually care. I think it was nice of him to, like, give us a glimpse into what he was dealing with when his music is all about cheating. Great music, though. But with Blueface, I couldn't tell you what they talked about. I didn't watch it. I didn't want to watch it. I don't watch Blueface. I don't know. The band stopped making music for, like, years. I'm not sure if he actually makes music or he just fell off. Either way, I don't listen to him. Him and his ex are just a little cray-cray. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're a little cray-cray. I don't know who got the baby, who got the custody, what that baby even at, but he's never seen with that child. He never talks about a kid in any positive, like, way. He also, like, I wish I never got her pregnant. He's always seen that granted, right? I cannot tell you what people go through in their lives, right? Obviously. But I can say, if you're going to continually work with people who have a bad past and you have no affiliation to them at all, meaning whatever they do is like so weird and awkward, and it's almost like you personally have to know them off camera for a while to even think about asking them about these favors, you kind of have to like be okay with what they be doing in their pastimes, right? Like, I know there's always an argument about whether or not, if you know someone who's like a racist, for example, if you know someone who's a racist and you're known friends with them, either friends or really good acquaintances, are you also considered racist because you're friends with a racist? And sometimes that is debatable. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes that is literally debatable, depending on the person who is literally not of any minority color. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of people who are not minority colored are all like, oh, you know, because they don't have to deal with that shit. If you say misogynist, now everyone wants to talk about, oh, I would never be friends with someone who's a misogynist. Okay, then why are you friends with someone who's you know what I'm saying? The same thing. Anyway, there was like a whole argument on Twitch like months ago. You guys probably can look up who was saying it, you know? And it was a whole thing about like, oh, I would never cut someone off because they were misogynist or racist or homophobic. Because I want to help them. I want them to be like better. And of course, this came from a white person. Because how else are they going to think this way, right? It could be a black male, and they probably wouldn't be like racist unless they like secretly hate themselves, or a Hispanic male who secretly doesn't like their culture, right? There's different ways of people just like coming up in the world and assuming like they must like the way other people are and see themselves as like a savior. I don't know. Like I said, don't know how people interact in the real world, so I can never tell how they actually deal with people who are what is it? Is it politically different? I'm not sure how you would say different for someone who's racist or homophobic. But anyway, it was like a topic of discussion because people were like saying like, oh, I would never be friends with someone who's like racist, right? Because I have friends who are like this and they are shitty people. And honestly, I can't say if I'll be friends with someone who's racist either, because it's like, I personally would never, because there's like two types of racists. There's racist people who are outspoken and they will say type bullshit, right? I mean, if you're saying all that in front of a random stranger, I can't, you know? Like, that's already like, I didn't know who you were to begin with. Now, there's those who are like subtly racist. Like, they won't say anything for a while and then something happens, like ice happens. And all of a sudden, everyone who's doesn't like Hispanic people are all in the streets of being like, yeah, you should take that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, those are the people that like you probably were friends with for real. and then they came out and said all that bullshit. And you're like, whoa, you can't be saying all that. You can't be saying all that, you know? So there's two types of racists. The ones who are outspoken, like all the time, or even just a little bit. And there's those who don't say shit until like they finally find an outlet that make them feel safe. Like they finally find a safe place, which is crazy. They finally found a safe place for them. And so the first racism, I can only hope most people would just never go for, unless you're racist yourself. Let's be real. Second type of racist, I can see that being a bit harder to cut people off, because it's like, why would you consistently want to say something bad about someone that you don't really know? You put in this much effort into someone you will never meet, never see, never care about, and yet, you know, all that stuff, right? The typical, why do you care so much about other people when you have your own life? Get your money up type storyline. But this woman on Twitch was talking about, like, would never be considered, like, she wouldn't consider herself a racist because she's like friends or acquaintances or collab with people who have said, she was talking about homophobia in her case, because there's like creators that she's like collab with who have said kind of homophobic stuff, right? Nothing like crazy, but still like very jarring to be like, bro, you may be girly, you shouldn't collab with these people because they are homophobic, and it doesn't count for you to be like pulled under the hate that they're bringing, because there's plenty of people in these communities that would like say some racist shit or homophobic shit because their little streamer friends or streamer people won't stop them. They say it in their chat. They make fun of them in their chat. They say it's a joke, but don't realize that they were literally streaming for like 8 hours saying this shit every day. Like, it's not a joke. Anyone who thinks it's a joke, let's talk about what a joke is. A joke has to be funny to the party that says it, but the party that's also hearing it. If it's not a joke to both, then you're just being rude and mean. That's really it. It's that simple. That's why a lot of comedians bomb, and sometimes the joke that they say is taken out of context, and that's why people get in backlash and controversy and have to apologize sometimes about a joke, because guess what? The joke wasn't funny to the people who said it to. Especially if you're posting that bitch on TikTok and you be mad at your own audience on TikTok doesn't like your joke. And instead of just being like, damn, my jokes aren't that funny, I should like try to make it better because these are my audience, or just find a new audience, they be mad at TikTok for being like, you guys are so soft. Man, if your joke is ass, your joke is ass. Okay? No one's going to your show listening to a man who wants to make ass jokes about people and be mad when they actively try to tell him, hey, maybe you want to change it up if you want to keep your fans. Simple as that. But people want to have their cake and eat it too, because they want to say some bullshit, call it edgy, getting mad when people call out edgy jokes because it's not 2015 no more, and then want to be like, I know people like Matt Rife. I used to like him too. Honestly, he was very respectful for a while, so that's why I was like a little disappointed when he was saying bullshit. And it's crazy because it's not that hard to just be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I won't make those type of jokes anymore. Because his fan base was mainly women for different reasons. And then he wanted to be edgier and then started saying bullshit. Now people were like, his fame is starting to slowly disappear from his own eyes. Because why are you even saying bullshit? But anyway, this woman was saying how like she wouldn't be, like she wanted to like bridge a gap between her, well not her, but like the people who are saying like homophobic stuff and the people who are being hurt by it. I don't know what she meant by bridging gaps. Apparently she's ex-Mormon, so if you don't know who that is, you probably would now. She's ex-Mormon, so they're very like racist, very homophobic, you know, and her dad is a transphobe, and her stepbrother is literally trans. So it's literally like her dad does not consider her brother a boy. And Cutie very much does, and doesn't like the fact that her dad does that shit. But she was talking about how she would never cut off her dad, because she literally talks to him about this and literally gives like different, like she helps her dad along like a lot every time, because the brother does not talk to the dad for good reason, but she doesn't want to cut off her dad, so she talks to him about it a lot because she does want one day for them to like talk. And I was like, okay, obviously like that's an easy one, because if you have someone in your family who's willing to like do the hard work of bridging that gap, I can definitely see that being the possibility. But she also has an easy way out. Like obviously family people can cut them off, but that's a lot harder to do for a lot of people. And you only really cut them off if you're being affected. You never cut them off if they're affecting someone else that you love in your family. Like even if your parents hate your relationship, you're not cutting them off for that bullshit. You never are, right? Even if it's like so dumb of why they hate your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, right? But for some odd reason, she never talked about streamers and having friends with streamers who are literally like homophobic, or at least just say a lot of homophobic slurs and stuff like that. She doesn't ever like talk about it, and it was very weird because it's like, okay, but you know this is like a big issue, and you know she'd be trying to help these streamers because she's The streamers that she talks to are like in their 20s, right? Like early 20s. And she very much wants them to like grow and be like a great streamer and not fall in a trap of trying to be a grifter and do a lot of right-wing bullshit repertoire that no one really gets into, except for a lot of males who, you know, are missing a support system here and there. Like, the money is great over there, but it's really terrible for what they have to do for it, right? And she never wants them to fall into it. So in her mind, she's like, oh, I'll be like that helper. I can't draw a moon, so I'm sorry if you guys see this later. You're like, what the fuck is on top? I'm trying to draw a moon right now, and it's yeah, I cannot draw it for the life of me. Maybe I should have turned my paper. But anyway, but this streamer who does like homophobic jokes sometimes doesn't stop. He has literally been known to say like homophobic jokes, say the R word, say a bunch of words. And it's like, this person doesn't care. Like, they cannot care less. They honestly have said it in their past. Like, they would never say it around them because they don't want them to like lose their fan base because of it. Because the fan base that they curate, like the people they collab with, their fan base, they are so used to them being like, not PC, but definitely like very understanding of why it hurts of someone, right? It shouldn't be that hard to be like, oh, homophobic jokes hurt actual homosexuals. It should not be hard to be like, yeah, gay people hate hearing these jokes because they're always a slur for them, right? It shouldn't be that hard to understand where jokes are coming from and be like, oh, I won't say it on stream. Like, if you're gonna say it anyway because you're that kind of person, don't say it on stream. Like, it should not be that hard. If you're gonna stream for 8 hours, or fuck it, ruin your fan base, I don't really care. But it seems like fuck it, I'm moving a lot. Anyway, do not erase. Anyway, it does seem like she was trying to say that she'd rather help someone than like purposely kick them out the world and let them be alone and let them fall deeper into whatever rhetoric they have. But it did seem kind of, what would you say? It seemed a little, what do you guys call it? Out touch. I was like, what do you call it when a celebrity makes so much money? Out touch is what they are. What they become. Because it was homophobia, right? So she's not homophobic. Like, she's straight. So she obviously can't relate to that storyline. She can't relate to how it definitely affects a lot of people outside of like her own family and how she sees it in them. But she was telling this to like two people who are both queer about how she wouldn't cut them off because she wants to bridge a gap, and how she wouldn't be considered she wouldn't be considered homophobic because she is seen with them, even though people would assume the person that she's with is homophobic, which is weird. Why would you should be friends with who is? But she was saying this to two like queer people who were just like shell shocked. I'm not gonna lie to you. They were like, this conversation happened so off guard for them. They actually didn't know what to say. One of them stayed quiet. The other one just kind of like lied and agreed with her. I know she lied because she later on was like, I actually did not agree with what she said. But why would you agree? Anyway, I think she was just nervous because it was like on stream. So they were just like, you know what I'm saying? Like confused one-on-one. But that happened. And I think it was a good conversation to bring up because there are a lot of nuances to it. I think the only problem with it is that the people who don't get affected tend to have a lot of power in the say of it, because it's a lot easier for someone who's not a part of that life to be like, oh yeah, I'll just stay with them and try to fix it. Because obviously you would. I mean, you're not affected by it, right? Like, why else would you want to stay? If I was affected by it, I would not be trying to fix no racist person's mindset. Like, unless I know for a fact that you're not going to harm me, I would not want to be in your bubble trying to fix you. If you don't harm me, I'm still be like, these hands are going to be thrown just because you keep saying something about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. It's like, I can't really be around people who are like that. I mean, I could. It's not that hard. But the moment I hear it, I'm gonna be like, okay, so we're gonna talk dirty now. We're gonna talk like you don't want to hear the things some people say back, because then people won't want to fight. And now we're gonna be in trouble. And now things are being called anyway. But it was very like out of touch for her to say it, because she understood a little bit of why people wouldn't want to obviously wouldn't want to be with these people, essentially, even be in their lives. It's like she knows she's very privileged. She says she's very privileged. But to almost bring it up as if it was a gotcha moment for her fans to understand, hey, I'm not racist or I'm not homophobic. I actually want to help the people who are. And then it's like, girl, let's not say all that, because you're not helping them. Like, these people will not stop saying the things they say, because they will forever say these things whether you help them or not. how far they go is up to like them. Like, yeah, they can listen to you and be like, hey, listen, you're helpful, but I'm gonna do what I want to do because it makes me more money, right? And y'all already know who I'm talking about because they just disbanded as a group. I'm not even gonna throw anything like, oh, they always racist and da-da. It's not even all of them. People put them in the box because no one knows their name like that, which is kind of crazy. But no, it's not all of them. It's like a few that are in that bubble of homophobia. Like, they're gonna be like, we're not homophobic, da-da-da, whatever. Maybe they're not fully, but you make too many jokes. Okay, let's talk about it. Why you make too many jokes then? Why is that like your main joke? Why are you clipping the most jokes out of that segment? You know, you're not homophobic, but you only make jokes about them at their expense because it's the funniest. Why do you think it's funny? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these jokes gotta come from somewhere. It's not even about you, so you must have a real good reason. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a real big issue when people who are in that circle and claim to not be like homophobic or whatever, but yet they are constantly always surrounding themselves with people who tend to have real homophobia. And I will say, one of the people that was in this group literally went on to stream with someone who's from Kick, like the big person on Kick. And it's like, okay, so you claim that you're not homophobic. You don't know how people get these rumors because people were saying, oh, it's just a rumor. People be lying. It's a rumor, but then you suddenly go to like one of the biggest people on Kick who literally only makes racist jokes, says the N-word constantly, is white, by the way, white. Makes like homophobic jokes, will tell you all the time they're not racist, but will still say words that it's meant to harm people. Like, it's like, okay, but then you want to look crazy when people want to say the things that you do, the action that you follow are bigger than your words. But somehow that's too much for them to understand, and they're in their early 20s. It's like, you're not that far off in age for me. Like, you're really not. The age difference between some of them and me is literally like 3 years. And it's like, you guys really act like because you're born a few years ago, you are like not understanding. But hey, listen, Twitch, they literally give them a bag. They do not give a fuck. They honestly would be happier if people did more crime. They would love to be like, oh no, we don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? No. Twitch is like the platform that you go to if you had like, it's becoming almost a Kick. I know it sounds crazy to say because Kick is like pretty bad. And I would never stream on Kick, so not as hell out, but also just ill. But like, it's becoming a place where you almost feel like it could have been a Kick if the CEO liked more money. Literally the only reason why it's not a Kick is because CEO knows this is owned by Amazon. And the moment people get even a hint of what Amazon's doing, now people are canceling their primes, right? Realistically, a lot more news stations should care about what Twitch is doing because crimes, all of them. And it just becomes like a really big issue because they had they had like a recent person get banned. They had a lot of people get banned, but this person got banned on Twitch, what seems like permanently, because she was stealing from a store. She essayed someone like a year ago. Never got banned for that. She essayed someone on camera, by the way. Yeah. Never got banned for that. So I couldn't tell you what the heck they thought when she was on there, and they were like, oh yeah, no, she doesn't even get banned for essay. What? Like, anyway. But she came back like a few days ago because she wasn't banned for real. People were all saying, oh, she got banned for life. She got banned for life because I guess you can see that on their platform. If they're not streaming and it's for a ban, the page that you go on for their homepage will tell you like why they're banned. Well, not why, but like that they're banned, right? It tells you the reason why they can't stream. And so people were saying she's banned for life. She's banned for life. Because she was like legit stealing on camera from Target, of all places. I mean, Target I don't care about. I don't care about Target. But on camera, people were calling her out about it and Twitch about it. She's really banned for like forever. Like, it would be an infinite ban because she'd been banned like 3 times consecutively in like last year. Like, all 2025 was like, girl, you've been banned like 3 times. And Twitch don't have no type of like 1 strike you're out, 3 strike you're out. You know, they don't got none of that. They just like, oh, if you ban, but you come back. Like, if you get banned so many times on Twitch, it don't matter. You will literally come back to a bag. And I'm like, Twitch is desperate. I mean, they are losing money every year because they have no profit. So they are not going to let people who have a few bans stop them from coming back, right? They don't give a fuck. They like it. You make money. If it was someone else, I would ban them and keep them off. But you make money. Twitch is very favoritism. They're very favoritism like that. So she literally came back. I don't know what she talked about. I don't watch her. I just hear about it. So I'm like, oh, she's yapping. She's yapping about what she did. She's probably talking about how she stole again. It is literally a whole thing. And you just kind of sit there and you're like, this girl is back. And Twitch said it. She was banned. Girl, she was not banned. She was never banned. Like, she was banned. She was never banned for life like people claim that she was. People were trying to explain to you how she was banned for life, but she wasn't banned. She wasn't even that big. Like, she's big enough to like gain like maybe 5K constant viewers. But it's like, girl, you're not that big. So how are you getting favors from the CEO who is friends with every single person? But yeah, it was funny too because I thought about when I was making this YouTube channel the streaming. I was like, how am I going to, like, where am I going to stream? Am I going to multi-stream to Twitch? Am I going to multi-stream on TikTok and then move them over to my YouTube channel? Am I going to stick to YouTube? I honestly just stuck to YouTube because I have a YouTube channel. I already feel kind of icky thinking about streaming on Twitch. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't talk this much shit about Twitch and then be on there. YouTube probably has issues too, but, you know, I don't know their CEO, so it's a lot easier to, like, not talk about their issues. They have issues, though. Every company does. They definitely have issues. They need to get fixed, but it's never constantly rapid like Twitch, you know? They're constantly always in some bullshit. And I feel like if I'm gonna complain about a product, I shouldn't be using it that much. Because at that point, I just like to complain, you know? So I decided to not do that. And I decided to just stay and legit stay on YouTube. I don't want to do TikTok. I don't have a TikTok, so I have to make a TikTok. And I want to make shorts. I would not make shorts. Like, I don't know how to make shorts from this. Like, how do you make shorts from a drawing thing? I'm just drawing and talking and yapping. I love to yap, so I can do it here. There's like my yapping sessions. These are the yaps I do when I'm alone. But now that I have like something to do, I can yap to y'all. Hello, my name is Miracle. If this is your first time being here, hello. I'm drawing a picture of a sword. Let me see if I can raise the light a little bit, so y'all can like see what I'm drawing. It is a sword that goes through 3 books and has like the moon with stars in the background, and the moon is ugly as hell, so gonna clarify that for y'all. Yeah, y'all probably still can't see. You will see in the end. I always show the picture and I always show their final results at the end, so you guys will see that. So for those who just got here, I already spoke about my job in like the first 10 minutes, but anyway, I had my first day of work yesterday. I work as a store manager in training at a store franchise, and I'm trying to quit that bitch because it's a placeholder job, literally a placeholder, meaning that I do not plan on staying there for very long. I only have this job because I am looking for a job I actually want, but I need money, so this is a job that I'm doing currently. It's not a bad job. I was just talking about before, like, how they're a little disorganized because I guess the recruiter or the HR people don't tell the store when there's new people, so they are actively finding out when we come inside. But it was fine. I'll go back tomorrow. I was supposed to go today, but not really because I don't know I don't know my hours. Okay, so let's start there. I don't know my hours because no one told us that when we were coming. We weren't really told the hours. It is full time. I just say part time because it has a part time salary. But it's full time. You know how these stories go. But we're supposed to have like our shifts changing weekly, which they keep saying, but I don't think it's going to change like that. I think it might be the same next week. If I did nighttime shift, would that be okay? I'm thinking I'll do like nighttime shift because there's this other woman who wants to do nighttime shift that works there as well as a manager. She started the same day as me, but she said she has a second job, so she wants to work nighttime shifts, so that'd be easier for her to actually, it'd be easier for her to work 2 jobs. And I'm like, you know what, that's so smart. Because if I work all night into the wee hours in the morning, then I can sleep for like 5 hours because I have a really bad sleep schedule anyway. And then I could just like wake up, have the rest of the day to myself before I go back to work. And I feel like that'd be better. And I can do that for a week and see how that feels. Because I also want to do like other stuff in the morning that I kind of like got into during my unemployment era. And I feel like I can't really do that because I have this full-time job. And I go to take a nap immediately after I come back from work. So, and also I feel like I can go to the gym a lot more if I do it after I come back versus in the morning. Anyway, I was also like, I don't know, I just want to be with her because I feel like we're both training. You know, she won't be in the same department as me. But if that's the option, I would take it. Let's just say that. But that's really all I have. Tomorrow, whole new day. But yeah. What was I talking about before? Oh, streamers. Yeah, no, hell no. Fuck that shit. It's new year, new us. If people are being rude to you guys, like ever in your life, don't stand for that shit, okay? People have to be like, oh, they deserve. I was watching a YouTube video. Someone was like, I gave someone chances just so they can later on become a nicer person to me. I was like, girl, what's wrong with you? Like, I get it. People can be in a really shitty mood, but if you feel the need to be such a shit person that I have to be taking the brunt of that bullshit, no. Like, I'm not gonna ruin my mental health because you can't keep yours in check. You know, like, I'm not doing that shit with you. It's a whole new year. I used to do that shit a lot, especially in college, where I had like friends who would literally be like rude or annoying as hell. But it was my freshman year, and I wasn't in the space of like denying friends I haven't made yet. So I would just be nice to them because I see other people be nice to them, and I'm like, oh well, you know, they're probably just in a really bad season. Like, I don't know, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, they're just being mean because, you know, they probably feel like they have to do this from college. Who knows the reason? And no, they're just rude the entire time I knew them. And I was like, okay, yeah, bad. Like, getting your ass kicked out of whatever the fuck your club you're in. You stole my shit, bad, easy then. I'm getting you kicked out of whatever, like, class. He ended up, like, transferring too. So I was like, easy. I didn't do that. I did not make the next man transfer at all. But it felt like I did because I was like, I was on his ass after that. I was like, you're not about to steal my shit, as if I wasn't trying to be a nice person to you this entire time. And I was in college. It was freshman year. I was right before COVID, so I was like, yeah. And he still follows me. So I'm like, bro, you following the wrong one. I mean, we were never friends like that, apparently. But no, there's like people I can see you guys, like obviously there's like, if you know they're going through a rough patch, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing. If you don't know a person and they're being rude to you off bat, or they act arrogant off bat, and you're like, boy, I don't know you, or girl, I don't know you, why are you doing all that? You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta be like, no, like, there is no one higher than another one in this type of life. We all live the same. Maybe not. We don't live all the same. We all die the same. Okay, how about that? We all die the same, okay? We all go back to the ground. So no one's gonna be on top of me in terms of like respect. Especially when it's coming to about like like being a decent human being. Like, if you can't be a decent human being to like someone else and you want to be all snarky, I mean, you must be the smartest person in the room or something, because what is the reason? Yeah, I don't know. It just, to me, too many people give too many people a chance, and it's like the nicest people you know giving people chances, and it's like, come on now, you're giving yourself a bad name. Like, every time I heard about a nice person getting like thrown through the mud, I'm always just feel so bad, because this is the reason why people think nice people are also weak as hell, because you guys give like the people who start off bad, like, you give yourself a chance to get hurt every time. Like, obviously the people who hurt them, let them die, let them go. Before people come at me, let them go, okay? Let them go to the worst shit you ever can imagine, so I can continue saying what I'm saying, right? But I gotta say, like, sometimes people will figure out that someone has a bad past and then be like, no, but they're different with me, girl or boy or them. They're not different. They just have you to like manipulate, okay? And I've seen this shit. I have. It's always the same way. People they act like they're so different. Like, we are, right? But the emotions and how we move in this world are very similar. And people tend to be like, no, I'll be different. No, you won't. If anything, you just have to be quiet about it, because you won't talk about it when it happens, because it'll be embarrassing, because it always is for a lot of people. That's why they don't talk about it until like a lot later. That's why only their closest people find out even late as themselves, because they never hear about it, because the person who went through it can't go through it. And I feel like it's so bad too, because when you're a public figure, it only gets expedited in like the worst way. Because if you go through like a bad breakup, like if someone cheated on you, let's say you were married, right? And you had a streamer wedding, because some people really do that. They have a wedding and they stream. Great, all the big people are there. They all love you guys. They know how big this is. Great, I love that for you. And then one of y'all cheat. And now that person who cheated has to be ostracized, has to be cut off from the streaming world because they're a cheater. Obviously, depending on they're man or woman, it really depends when they come back. But because they cheated on you, you know, and maybe you didn't know, maybe you didn't see, maybe in your circle no one knew, but let's say that person had a past of like cheating on you and when you first dated, and they told you we weren't gonna do that shit again, and maybe it's been like 2 years since they last cheated, so you believe them, right? But now you look kind of dumb, because people are gonna bring that up online, not even in your personal life. Like, people who are living in your personal life, they will understand why you didn't want to talk about that, or why you even came back to them, because in your life, you can give a cheater a second chance, right? There are plenty of cheaters. You'll probably find someone who's a cheater more than you'll find someone who hasn't cheated. And that's if they're being honest about it too. You'll never find more people who cheated, probably, right? And if you're streaming, especially if you're a streamer, people will love to bring that up, depending on the gender. Some people will look at a woman and be like, I can't believe you gave this cheating person a chance, you know what I'm saying? If you're a man, all of a sudden it is, I can't believe that woman cheated on you. She was always that rude ass, you know what I'm saying? Very different responses. One of them blames the victim, the other one blames the actual person who did it, right? Whatever. Real case by case, but very similar. Like, let's not act like these things don't happen in constantly. You know, it's the same thing every time. But people will look at you online and be like, hey, why did you even go out with them? If they were cheating on you before, why did you give his ass a chance? Why did you give her a chance? Why did you continue the relationship? She already showed you what kind of person she was when she cheated on you. Why do you just suddenly want to go back to that person? Like, they never seen a human a real relationship. How it can be very hard to like leave someone who cheats on you, depending on how long you've been together. But also, like, someone can go through therapy and literally be like, hey, I went to therapy, which a lot of people don't do and need to do, but they can go to therapy, talk about their issues, talk about what made them cheat to begin with, and then they can get better. They can, like, cheating is not like an illness, right? You can get better, you can stop, you can realize like what you're doing will hurt everyone, including yourself. Like, if you guys watch Love is Blind, I don't care if you did, it's not the more important part. There was like a season where one of the males, they explained that they cheated on their ex-partner like years ago, whatever, and they went to therapy for it. And they said that in the pods where they didn't even see each other, and the girl who was going to say yes to him, she like understood like, oh wow, this took a lot of bravery, because a lot of people don't talk about they cheating, especially to a stranger that they want to be with. It's like you would never hear about someone being like, oh yeah, I cheated on a person. I just want to be honest with you, before we even get engaged, I did cheat, but I've been to therapy, right? And so she chose that man, right? Which I honestly thought was kind of brave, because I'm like, he admitted to cheating, which is like a red flag, because the red flag is how he cheated. But at the same time, it's like he's also going to therapy for it, so it's not as if he's not talking about this and wanting to like make a change. He also ended up cheating on her. Yes, he did. He ended up cheating on her when they were living in an apartment together. Yeah, no, it was yeah. And the sad part is you can only blame the guy. I mean, if you blame the girl, that's dumb as hell. Because he cheated, because he lost his job, because he was on the show, which is whatever, right? That's not her fault. She was being super duper supportive. It was all she can do. But he decided it was smart to just be like, okay, I'm just going to cheat on her and legit just lie about it or whatever. And she ended up having to like see his phone because it was unlocked. So she just looked at that bitch and said, oh, these are text messages from a girl on Instagram. And apparently he deleted the text messages after she read it, because he was like, it looks so bad. I felt so bad about it. I leave the messages. And I'm like, oh, hell nah, lying asshole. Because the girl, she said there was like some weird fetish stuff going on between them. Like, they were talking like they were sexting, but like in a novel. I don't know, something crazy. And then he had the audacity to be like, I really don't even know who she is. Like, she's one of my mutuals. And I'm like, cap. And because he deleted it, we never knew what he really said. But yeah, no, he legit, they didn't get together. It would be really bad if she got back together with that man after everything. But at the same time, it was like, it kind of sucked, because when you trust someone on their word, that's all you can do. I mean, in any relationship, you have to do that. But especially when they admit wrongdoing in their past relationships, it's like you're trusting them to not put you through the same bullshit. And then when they do, it's suddenly like, damn, I really fell for that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because then you fall for someone who's like a cheater and went to therapy, but we can't verify he went to therapy. I don't think he was performing. I think he really did go to therapy, but it's just like, I wish the therapy lasted a little longer with him, because he probably could have been they were good together. They really were. But then he just did this dumb shit when she was away for one day. And it was like, okay, very much so. Like, this man does not deserve her at all. And so he went on to like the reunion episode of Love is Blind, and they were just talking about how he cheated and all that stuff. And he didn't like deny anything. It'd be kind of crazy if he did. And he was like, I would say something, but no one would really believe me. So yeah, and I was like, yeah, you can keep to yourself then. Like at that point, not too many words now. Like I don't need to hear you give me a docuseries of how you cheated, why you cheated, like if you didn't really mean it, whatever the bullshit. I don't care. And that's the truth. That's literally the truth of it all. But yeah. But also say, like, there are people who, like, give people chances, and you should. Like, giving people a chance is never a bad thing. I don't want this to be like, oh, you should never give people chances. But you have to understand there's a limit. There's a limit. You cannot be giving people chances. Like, just because you give them one chance does not mean you have to give them another chance, okay? That one chance was for them to do better, not for you to see where your limit is, okay? You should know your limit by now. It's 2026. Let's get our money up. And let's literally figure out who we want to be in this new world, because it won't be here forever. Actually, it's not that bad. You know what? I am actually happy with how I drew this. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me show you guys. This is... What am I like? I just realized y'all can't see shit. Okay. Boop. This is what it looks like. It's a sword that goes through books. Flowers, stars everywhere. The moon is on the bottom. The mountain is like right there, and yeah, that is everything that's happening in this picture. Yeah, I don't know if y'all can even see that, but anyway, this is my drawing. It looks very similar. Don't look too close though, but look too close at the same time. I'm gonna put it like right here. See if y'all can see that. But yeah, it's not that bad actually. There we go. Yeah, that works. Okay. So then you have the sword that goes through the books. Different sizing in the picture. Ugly ass moon and the mountains in the background. I did say it would look bad. I did say that. So there is that. I got my first image down. Very, very pretty. Very pretty. Alright, next picture. Alright, this is the part where I yap for real while I find another picture to draw. Because I need to find that one. I'll probably keep going to my phone. It's dead. Let's do a phone check. Let's see what percent I'm on. I am on 49%. This phone was on 97 when I started streaming. So I think I have another one in me before my computer says, my phone says it's dying. But I'll find a new picture. So I mean, yeah. But there's this creator called Captain Puffy. I'm on. I don't even watch these people, but I love to hear the tea. Sometimes I'm just like bored, and I'm like, nothing happening in my life. Let's see what's in other people's lives. And so, that's a good picture if I can draw bodies. This is a streamer and YouTuber called Captain Puffy, and she used to date like this UK person who moved to LA like a few years ago. He's very popular. Well, he's not. He's popular because of the people he has around him. Is how people will say it. I don't think he's popular as a person, because he doesn't. Even like years later, he's gained opportunities, even though he doesn't have the star power and viewership to do so. I know it sounds rude as hell, but he has been doing this for years. He's around the top streamers at all time, but yet somehow only seems to like, he's a cloud chaser. Anyway, but she admitted that she came out like with a Google Doc a few weeks ago, speaking about how she was gaslit, manipulated, financially abused. Her dog was abused as well by her ex, and the ex was this streamer who moved to LA with a lot of large LA creators. The biggest ones, he probably hanged out with like 60 to 70% of them concurrently, like all the time. And she talked about how, because when she dated this streamer, it was like years ago, and she's a popular streamer in the UK, so it's not like I would know who she is, but she talked about how like she brought it up because her being quiet about it didn't really help her. It actually made it worse for her to be quiet, because there's a lot of rumors going around why they broke up online, because they did break up online. And then he moved on, and people see him, and then like, oh, he did this and that to her, and she sees all these obviously rumors, and she clears up the air. And she's still bigger than him to this day, so it's not even like she gains anything from talking about it. But she's one of those people like I talk about, which I'm like, they're really, really nice people. Really nice people. Like, she was being candid. She was being honest. And you can kind of tell because they kind of tell about their own faults in the relationship. Without it seemed like he did all the bad thing and I just stayed here and was scared. It was more of like, well, I was doing this, I was doing that. They did this, they did that. It makes the story a lot more believable because we now know like both sides of what was happening without having to literally listen to both sides. But she spoke a lot about how very early on in the relationship, she was moving them to like whole vacations. And mind you, she was a bigger streamer, so she made more money. She was treating him to like expensive presents 2 weeks into talking. She was traveling the world with this man a month into talking. She was moving in with him less than a year of knowing what, like, she was doing all this stuff. And you can chalk it up to naivety, you can chalk it up to like her personality, you can chalk it up to her past, whatever, I don't know. But to me, when I read that, I was like, oh gosh, like, oh my god, 2 weeks in, you gave someone you just met that you were dating an expensive watch, while I'm over here telling my friends that 6 months into a relationship doesn't really count because anything can happen. Oh my gosh, right? Like, I don't know, maybe she's used to like, because everybody's relationship is different. So some people can be like a week into a relationship and they suddenly call each other girlfriend and boyfriend. You never know. But when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so quick. Like, they're moving so fast. It's never something I would like personally do, but obviously because it's not my relationship, I don't really know. But I also just feel like, wow, that is crazy. Because later on, it was like, because she was the bigger streamer, made more money, all this stuff, she very much was letting him do what he want with the money that she was giving him. Because at one point he wanted to move closer to like friends that he had that were also really big streamers, but because they're big streamers and they make a lot of money, they live in a richer part of the neighborhood. So she, even though she was already paying for like a lot of shit, she listened. She actually went to a different place with him, and he did not pay rent for an entire year. And somehow she, I don't know, I want to say she allowed it, but you don't know people's stories. He was just dumb. Like, he literally financially abused her. Look it up if you want to argue with me, okay? But he literally just allowed himself to not pay. And I wouldn't even say half, because half was too much for him, but they had an agreement on how much he could pay based on how much he was making, and he didn't pay it. She had a dog that they both agreed to have together, and he had her take care of it the entire time that they were together. Even when she was traveling, he wouldn't feed the pet at all. He would say like, oh, I just didn't know, da da da. He literally hung out with a bunch of women that were her friends when she wasn't there, and not all of them knew that he was taken, right? He legit put her on like videos when she basically, like, she told him that she didn't want to be on video with him because she had to film her own stuff, but she was so nice that she let him do it. It was a lot of shit. Don't be too nice, y'all. Like, we can be nice because the world needs a bit more niceness, but you cannot be one of those people who get ruined, because the moment you get ruined, you're never gonna be nice again. You are never going to be nice again, because you can't. You see the worst now, it's suddenly everyone's problem that is gonna be never back again, you know. So anyway, that happened, and she talked about it 2 years later, and people who watched the guy were like, damn, so he a whole cheater, he a whole abuser, he did this and that. Obviously a bad person, right? Obviously. And so, not this picture being AI thingy. Is it that hard to pick up a pencil? Whoa, this picture is made by AI. That's crazy. Bro, I don't know if you guys can see this. I thought this was a real picture. It's literally made by AI. I'm literally a zoomer, and I almost got... I don't like AI. Yeah, anyway. I'm gonna draw it. Since people love to use AI, we're gonna draw it. It's not gonna be that good, though, but it's okay. At least it'll be real. I know I use AI in my videos, like, one time. Anyway, back to regular program. But yeah, she talked about how like that happened, how it was really bad, and how she felt like shit, and how she been to therapy, and how she hasn't really been good since, because she had to talk about it like 2 years later, due to the fact that people were just like legit spreading rumors, and she felt worse than she did when she broke up with him and thought he would leave and be on his merry way. And so that became a whole issue. My hair is like overstimulating me right now, and it's so weird. I should have brought a hair tie or something. Anyway, so that happened, and then the guy did respond back. He did respond back. He did respond back. He essentially said that he did not. He wrote his own little Google Doc. It was like 3 pages, so I did read it. But he was like, he admitted to the wrongdoings that she claimed that he did. He literally said, "Yeah, I did that shit." It was weird because there was like this one paragraph where he admits, like he said he did not abuse her. He, paraphrasing here, claimed to not abuse her. He just happened to not do what she wanted him to do and didn't care that it was actually ruining her life. His words. Yep. That is paraphrased though. Because essentially, please do not draw a face too big. It's my first time drawing a face, so if it looks like dog shit, please keep it to yourself. Because I might never do this again. Who knows? But he claimed that he did not financially abuse her. He just took advantage of her kindness, did not pay for her rent the entire year, because she wouldn't, after like one time of her asking, she stopped asking him. You know, he knew when rent was due. He's like 31. 2 years ago, his ass was late 20s. He said he did not abuse the dog. He just didn't think he should take care of it. You know, they bought it together. You know what I'm saying? You hear the excuses. You hear the excuses. It's like, it's man. Like, come on. Like, you hear the excuses and you're just like, okay, so you're lying. Like, you're literally lying. Because he'll be like, oh, I didn't cheat on her. I just talked to a lot of women that were her friends alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's giving incompetence 101. It's giving, I don't know how to take care of people, so I gotta make sure they don't think that I'm like a wrong, I don't know. Yeah, if you read it, you'll be like, nah, he's crazy for thinking this is gonna fly. Like, this man really said, oh, I don't abuse people. I'm just not smart enough to realize that what I'm doing is abuse. Like, just because you don't know that it's abuse, that what you're doing is abuse, doesn't make that any less of an abusive thing, right? So it was crazy when he said all that, because it was like, bro, just because you don't think it's abuse doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't abusive. Like, you maybe need to pick up a dictionary, but no, that was abuse for real. Abuse for real, bro. Abuse for real. Yeah. Long story short, his Google Doc did nothing to do anything. It just kind of proved that he actually did do exactly what she said he did. And so, essentially, that shit happened, right? But there's more to like the Google Doc, because Captain Puffy, she streamed like a few days later, and she talked about how there were some people in the LA community that knew about what happened with her, meaning that the streamer friends that he hung out with a lot actually were clocked in and knew exactly what happened, because she had shown them this doc, or at least she told them what happened to her when they were like meeting him and being friends with him like 2 years ago, or at least for the last 2 years they have known what he's been up to with her. Not to like scare them away from him, but to be like more mindful of what he has done to other women, and to get them more of like a full sense of what they should watch out for in case they think this is like a truly nice person who came out the mud true and nice, and in reality he's a lying ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? So she said, oh yeah, I tell people. And then she named the creator that she told, because she kind of said like, oh, when this person had a whole TikTok with this person, she immediately talked to her about it, because she was like, oh, the person that you have in my TikTok, I used to date them, not a great person, and here's why. And that person, this famous streamer, ended up not even taking out the TikTok, actively still streamed with this person, and, you know, did all these things and XYZ. And let me tell you right now, before people come at me, if there was a way to take people away who literally were accused of doing something bad, instead of having a shitty ass justice system we have, that guy would be first to go. Let me tell you. Well, not first to go, but he would definitely be gone, okay? So we said it before, because I know people be like, you're blaming other people instead of the person who did it. I'm blaming him 100%. 100%. He should be dragged in the mud, put through hell and back, because, you know, you took a nice person's generosity and you turn it into something horrendous for your own good, and only now do you apologize because it's been put on public blast. Like, we're not gonna forget this, because people didn't like him to begin with, so this only helped them hate him more, if I'm being honest. Like, they did not like his ass, so he can't even be like, yo, should give me another chance. Like, no, we shouldn't. They did not like you before, the haters are winning. Like, hello. So that happened. And so because of that, this streamer was named, right? And people were like, oh my gosh, we know who the streamer is. Let's go flood her comment section with how she's a terrible person, all this stuff. Which is kind of crazy, because I see why they would do that, because it's like, this streamer, she made a whole tweet saying believe victims, right? Months ago, before she even knew about the whole thing about Captain Puffy. But the thing about it is that the moment she knew about the Captain Puffy situation, she never deleted this male streamer from her platform. She only went on to do more stuff with him. Not like more as in to spite her, but like just more, period. And it was just like, oh, the same girl who said believe victims purposely just kept going on about it. And so she just responded and said, like, oh yeah, because they were sharing an apartment together. Because this LA streamer had like 2 apartments, because she travels a lot for work. So she has one, you know, just in case she doesn't like live there, and she has another one that she has a roommate with this male streamer. And she put on Twitter that she's no longer living with this person, because the moment she found out, she stopped streaming with this person, deleted stuff like the TikTok, and also don't live in that apartment anymore. Now, there's a lot of holes in what she said, a lot of holes. But remember what I said, the male streamer, if there's a way to put him in a cell and lock away the key, take away his key, I would do that first, okay? But I will say she's capping. Like, she's literally capping, because the TikTok wasn't deleted until after Captain Puffy wrote her statement and posted it on Twitter months after she told her. Which means for literal months, that TikTok and multiple other TikToks were placed online for views on her TikTok, on her social media, on her Instagram, on her YouTube, right? So it wasn't like, oh, because she told me, I stopped. No, it's because people got the full picture of who this person, this male streamer was, that you realize, I'm caught, I gotta leave. That's where the drama came in, right? If it was like you deleted it and no one gave a shit, or people question it, they were questioning if something bad happened, but they would never put so much emphasis into like making a think piece about it, right? That's the first lie she did. She lied about when she posted this TikTok, or many TikToks. The next thing that she lied about was that she stopped streaming with this person. She didn't stop. She did not stop. There's like people who have screenshotted and posted online that she literally kept streaming with him. Okay, give me a bit of a timeline. Captain Puffy told this streamer that this male streamer wasn't that great in like early October. This LA streamer continued to stream with this male streamer until like late December, like right before Christmas. So yeah, no, there was clips of her literally streaming with this guy for the entirety of like December, invited him to events that she ran, invited him out to like things that they're doing, because they do it in like a group setting. So like he was always invited to a lot of things that she had going on, no matter what, right? So she wasn't living with him right then, but maybe, you know, she didn't live with him because she legit moved out, or maybe because her ass just went back to the apartment she had before. And even though she probably is telling the truth about moving out of the apartment, there's no guarantee that she didn't pay for his rent. Because when he first moved to LA, he's from the UK. He didn't have a place to live. He didn't have a visa. Some other LA creator paid for his visa or sponsored him because they have a company. So perfect, great, easy way into the country. Perfect, that works perfectly. And then you had him needing a place to live, didn't have that much money, so he lived with the current LA streamer I'm talking about, and she was paying for his rent, like fully paying for that that man's rent. And you might be like, oh, that's crazy, like what? Yeah, no, it sounds like the rumor that he was being paid, not paid, but like he was paid to live there, seemed to be correct, because there's like clips online that you can find if you did your own research, where he literally was paid to live there with her. Not paid, like he lived there and she paid for him, in that order. And she only ever talked about how she left and then now she come back. When in reality, it's like, but did you stop paying for his rent? You know what I'm saying? Like, great, you don't live there no more. That's not what people want to know. People want to know if you stop paying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can leave all you want, but did you stop paying? That was like the real question, and she never answered that question. And that's the only thing she ever tweeted. Granted, you shouldn't look at her more than him, because there was like a lot of things he didn't discuss. That was also in the Google Docs. Like, there was other things about how he had like toys that were used in the bedroom. He left on her bed right before he like left her house. It was like a lot of shit like that being told that he never clarified in his apology stream or apology paper, or the Google Doc. And it's like, okay, well, before I even talk about this LA streamer, I want to know a lot about why he didn't talk about this shit, right? But it's one of those things, right, where you have to look at everyone who's involved, because there's always a person who does a crime and the people that continue to platform him. Because as I said, he's not that big of a streamer. Like, he has 200 viewers, which is a lot compared to me, but compared to these LA who get like 5K minimum, it is like, how did you guys know who this man was? And how did you even like recognize that he was the one to join like your corporation, your organization, your friendship? Like, he was that friend that everyone seemed to like want to be around. You know, if you talk to the viewers, there's a reason why he always say that 200 viewers consistently for 2 years, right? He streamed in the UK. Like, he was a streamer in UK for years. He was a streamer for years. So to not be able to like bring in that audience to like LA, and yet he was clout chasing, but like getting all these opportunities to clout chase, but yeah, the viewers doesn't view. It's like view body. It's like view body in real time. Oh my god, I have to draw a hand and I suck. I already hate the way I draw hands, and I haven't even drawn it yet. I'm just drawing the fingers first. But that happened, and people look at this creator, the woman creator, and be like, wow, she platformed him. Because she did. 100%, she did. Now, did she know too much about it? But when she first platformed him, no. That should not be like used against her.